Thor in Mortal Flesh by Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz, who is wonderful. And this is some of my favorite work because this is honestly my favorite creative team in comics. Thor 401 to 418 and annual number 14. We finally get into Eric Masterson as Thor. Now, Thor, what happens in here, Eric Masterson's been built up as a construction or as an architect who's been working for a while. He's got a kid. He's a divorcee, and he's fighting over custody. And Thor eventually merges with Eric Masterson because Thor gets like a punishment where he's like cast out of Asgard for like just basically prioritizing Earth over Asgard. Now, as you can see, Ron Frenz has that like Jack Kirby style art to it. And he's almost a dead ringer for it, which is great because the original Thor was Jack Kirby's work and it looked beautiful when he did it. So having Ron Frenz do honor to it with this sort of look is really, really wonderful. And he has that classic Marvel style to it. And I love that out of Ron Frenz. And so the art's great. The soap opera with Eric Masterson like is starting here, and DeFalco really gets to play with his life because it's not been established before. So that adds a little component to Thor that we never got to see before all of this. And I really, really love it over the course of this. Now, there's something brewing in the Black Galaxy across things too. What Tom DeFalco is a master of at the same time is taking little threads and building them across a lot of issues to like resolve and do a plot later. So you'll have at this point, Hercules was like bonded into the Black Galaxy or something like that, along with the guy who's the High Evolutionary, and they were like trapped in there. And Thor kind of got them out and rescued them. But there's a problem going on with the Black Galaxy as well, especially once they came out. It caused another problem, and of course that doesn't get resolved in this volume. It gets resolved in the next one. So cool stuff there. You get some good Thor stuff. This is a Tales of Asgard that gets back to before when Thor first became Thor. Thor actually fights Doctor Doom in one issue here as well. And eventually, like, the problems with his son hit on a point where Thor, misses picking up his kid from school, and his ex is using that for the custody battle and things like that too. So it's a really poignant thing. He's got an assistant too who kind of loves him too, and he just doesn't recognize it as well. We get a Thor versus Juggernaut sort of deal through here too, which is kind of an odd pairing, but also kind of nice. I love this background with background story as that goes on with Beta Ray Bill too, because Beta Ray Bill hasn't gotten a lot of love since Walt Simonson up until this point. And as you see, teams up, and this introduces the New Warriors. The New Warriors are going to spin out into their own comic very soon, and we get to learn about them here, which is really cool. I'd say the Beta Ray Bill story is the best backup story out of all of this. There's a lot of the Tales of Asgard stuff, but this one really is poignant and big character development that goes on here. And in this one, we get Thor fighting Thor and dealing with Doctor Strange with some weird situations going on. Love this storyline. It's just as it builds, it's just a wonderful, wonderful sort of personal. The Asgard situation is getting pretty cool with Odin having to go in and do an Odin sleep at some point. And I just love the art across the board. Like I said, it just reminds me of Kirby exactly. Friends does it perfectly. And it's the best vibe of Thor. Now, it's of course not the same as it was when it was Don Blake at all. You got Eric Masterson, things kind of odd, but it works. And so this is a nice way to develop the character and change the character in a way that, of course, still does honor towards everything that came before, which I really like. I call this an 8.5 out of 10. Can't wait for the next volume. And leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.